And we're back. It's Matt Roush.
And Mike Brennan.
And you're watching the M Squared TechCast. And we're happy to have with us today Laura Grannemann from the Rocket organization. Laura, why don't you give us your full title there?
Hi, yes, my name is Laura Grannemann. I lead the Rocket Community Fund. So I'm the Vice President of Strategic Investments for the Rocket Community Fund.
Okay. Well, Dan and Jennifer Gilbert and Gilbert Family Foundation had a large announcement last week that we'd like to talk to you about today. The Gilbert Family Foundation is contributing $350 million. The Rocket Community Fund,
550. Okay, yeah, 500 total, right?
Yeah, $150 million. So right. Between the two of them, that's a few hundred million here, a few hundred million there, and pretty soon you're talking real money, to paraphrase.
That's even more than Bruce pays Matt. Matt makes a lot of money, but 500 million is above that level, I believe, right, Matt?
I believe so.
Okay.
So this is going to go into sort of a housing stabilization fund in Detroit that I was very excited to hear was that a big chunk of it is going to pay the past due property taxes of Detroiters and keep people in their homes. So tell us a little bit about what the project is here.
Yeah, thank you. So we were lucky enough and grateful to be able to make a huge commitment to the city of Detroit. So $500 million over the course of the next 10 years from both the Gilbert Family Foundation and the Rocket Community Fund collectively. All of that really is driving towards this vision of economic opportunity for all in the city of Detroit. So no matter where you're starting, no matter your foundation, we believe that you should have access to economic stability and economic opportunity to support yourself, your family, and your community. And so the first $15 million of that $500 million commitment, to your point, was committed to something called the Detroit Tax Relief Fund. So we launched the Detroit Tax Relief Fund, which is focused on paying down the back tax debt of low-income Detroit homeowners. And for anyone who's spent a lot of time in the city of Detroit, property tax foreclosure has really ravaged the community and our city. And it has done that over the course of about 15 years. We've had 150,000 properties enter the property tax foreclosure auction. Wow. And so many Detroit homeowners could have qualified for a complete or partial property tax exemption because of their income and household size. And so what we're doing now is really making a commitment to say, you never should have had this tax debt in the first place. We believe that you should have the economic stability to be able to keep your home, stay in your home, invest in your home, make sure that your family has a stable roof over their head. And you can't do that if you have this tax debt hanging over your head that really never should have been there in the first place. And so that $15 million, we believe, will support roughly 20,000 Detroit homeowners to pay off their property tax debt.
Great. And then you have big plans for the rest of the money. How's that going to work out over the years?
Yes, we do have big plans for the rest. So what we've done is take a pretty radical approach to incorporating community voice and feedback into how we invest in the city of Detroit. And so we are starting with this $15 million commitment that is going to support roughly 20,000 families in the city of Detroit. What we're then going to do is stay connected to those 20,000 families. And we really want to better understand. We know that just paying off back tax debt is not going to be enough to get everybody to the economic stability that we're all hoping for. So we're going to stay connected. We're going to listen and learn more from those 20,000 families. And over the course of the next few months, by being able to listen and learn from their experience and other barriers that exist in their lives and in their homes, we will then make a series of follow-on investments that support that same group of people to help them get to that place of economic stability.
Well, obviously the Gilberts know a lot about the housing market since their business has been involved with it for 30 some years now, basically.
Yes.
So housing really is the way wealth is built in this country, right? I mean, the way most Americans build wealth, economic mobility, generational wealth, that kind of thing is through the passing down of real estate. And so that's really to close the wealth gap. To me, this is just a brilliant idea to make sure more people can own homes and pass them down.
That's 100% right. I mean, that's exactly where we were at as well. We know that the city of Detroit is in a place right now where there's so many people who stand to benefit from the city of Detroit growing and expanding, but you really can't benefit from rising property values if you don't own your property. And so we wanted to ensure that as many people as possible at all income levels have a stake in our city, so that as we continue to grow and thrive as a city, everyone will be able to benefit alongside.
How did this come about, in the sense of, was it you got feedback from folks in the community, people inside the company said, gosh, we should do this? What's the backstory?
Well, it's a little bit of both. The Rocket Community Fund has been working ever since the Blight Removal Task Force, which was something that Dan Gilbert actually co-chaired back in 2013. It was intended to identify and create a plan to address blight across the city of Detroit. And ever since the Blight Removal Task Force, it's been very clear that the primary driver of blight creation and all of the negative downstream effects of blight came from originally property tax foreclosure. So we weren't going to fight blight if we weren't fighting property tax foreclosure. So over the last 5 years, the Rocket Community Fund has been working alongside a lot of our partners to drive policy change in this space, to drive new programs that really get at the root cause of some of the lack of engagement with the property tax foreclosure system. And now we're in a place where we have this unique position of having policy change in place that's going to help us mitigate any of these effects going forward. We have partners who have the capacity to be able to implement a plan like this. And we have programs that'll help encourage people to engage. And so we have this beautiful trifecta that allows us to make a $15 million commitment here and really be able to kind of close the book on property tax debt and all of the terrible effects that it has caused.
Well, and I've been seeing ads for years I live in Wayne County, I live in Dearborn, and I've been seeing ads for years where the Wayne County treasurer comes on the television and says, I don't want your house, let us work with you, we can do this. Well, finally, it looks like something is sort of moving the ball here. I'm just curious, once this takes place, I know there's a lot more money on tap. Where might you be making future investments? What do you think the future holds for this?
Great question. While we will be engaging with our cohort to really learn more about their experience and kind of finalize our prioritization based on that engagement, we do know that there are some very consistent themes that come up again and again. From our experience at the Rocket Community Fund, working with people who are at risk of property tax foreclosure, generally what we hear is as soon as you support someone to be able to keep their home, they ask questions about home repair. I'm glad that I could keep my home. Please help me fix my roof. Or I need a new HVAC system, or I need new heating and cooling systems, right? So that's very high on the list. We also know that unemployment and underemployment are significant concerns for economic stability of these individual families and of our region. And so that's likely to be high on the list as well. And then lastly, I would say, in the course of this pandemic, we've never, ever had as much of a focus on the importance of digital connectivity than we have during this period of time. So that is also going to be very high on the list. And we know that that's something that concerns a lot of our community residents.
Yeah, that's a biggie. Detroit, last I knew, we had somebody on the show. It's probably dated information, but something in the neighborhood of 30 or 40% of the households do not have access to the internet in Detroit. Now, I don't know if that number's moved very much. That was the latest number I heard. And then, of course, and not so much in Detroit, but even in the rural areas of Michigan, same issue. But getting back to Detroit, do you have any statistics on how widespread broadband is in the city?
Well, actually, your statistic is right. And we have done a lot of work around digital connectivity in the city of Detroit, but roughly 30% of families across the city do not have access to in-home broadband. And so we actually were able to work through the Rocket Mortgage Classic last year to be able to launch something called Connect 313. which was from the Rocket Community Fund side, not yet the Gilbert Family Foundation. But we've worked with our partners at the city and at United Way of Southeastern Michigan to create a platform that allows all stakeholders around digital inclusion to come to the table. And we're making now system-wide investments in ensuring people have access to devices, internet, and digital literacy training. So we know that that's going to be something that's very important to these 20,000 families, and is likely to be high on the list for a follow-on investment as well.
Okay, so there's other thrusts of this foundation besides this particular initiative. Tell us a little bit about what the foundation, what else the foundation is working on.
Well, so the other big pillar of the Gilbert Family Foundation is around finding a cure for NF, neurofibromatosis, which is a disease that unfortunately one of Dan's sons suffers from. And that has been a very consistent passion point for both Dan and Jennifer Gilbert. It's something that they really remain very committed to, and they fund significant research in the space in order to drive towards and finding an end, a cure to neurofibromatosis.
Separately, I'm hoping this doesn't offend, but how is Dan doing? I know he had a stroke a number of months ago, maybe actually more than a year ago, and I haven't seen him publicly much lately. Is he doing better now?
He's been very strong and really on the road to recovery. You know, it's a process when you have a stroke. It does take a long time, and he's been incredibly diligent, and his family's been incredibly supportive of helping him take that road to recovery. But he was at the press conference with us last week. We were really proud to see him stand up there and give some really beautiful remarks. So yes, he's doing well, he's healthy, and really receiving lots of love and support from his family and his community.
Yeah, he's really done a lot to help the city, and I don't think people appreciate that fact as much as they probably should, you know, so.
Well, I remember hearing him quip once that, of course, he bought a lot of buildings in downtown Detroit. They were all on sale. So, you know.
Well, for Dan, it really has always been about being both around building his business and building his community together, because really what we often say is we're for more than profit. We believe in taking the tools and assets that make us great as a business and deploying those in the community as well, because our community and our businesses are inextricably linked. If we don't do well as a business, we lose jobs, we lose vibrancy, we lose opportunity in Detroit, and vice versa. If our community isn't doing well, our business is going to suffer as well. And so they both really have to grow together. And Dan has always been a big proponent of building that strategy.
Okay, we're in the last minute of the segment now. So if you would like to give the web address of the foundation where people could go for more information or to help out or to get involved,
Sure.
Where would they go?
Absolutely. So you can go to gilbertfamilyfoundation.org. Or if you are someone who is struggling with property taxes yourself, you can go to waynemetro.org/property tax, or just call 313-244-0274. Any of those sites will get you to where you need to go. And, just would really encourage anyone, even if you don't know whether you're going to qualify, just reach out, because we will help to determine whether you will be able to qualify for support. And it is really significant.
Traditional four-year students love Lawrence Technological University's thriving campus life, but LTU has always met non-traditional students' needs too. Lawrence Tech offers over 100 degree and certificate programs that can get adult students started or back on track. And most of our classes are conveniently offered evenings at our beautiful Southfield campus or online, so you can balance your social, family, and work life even while you power up your career. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.